11:05.
Mike's live in 3, 2, 1. Mics are live.
Alrighty, welcome back. I'm Danielle Smith, and this is Pledge Day for the Calgary Children's Foundation. Oh my gosh, I'm just looking at the pledge total. 11:05, $66,958.60. You guys are amazing. And I know that it is a really tough year. I've got somebody saying lots of people in the construction industry are getting laid off. Scary times. Thanks, Trudeau. You knew I'd just stick something in there political, right? I didn't. It was my listener who stuck something in political. So I know how hard it is for those of you in the construction industry to be able to match what some of our generous donors are putting in. And so I do thank you. If you can dig deep, great. If you can't dig deep and you can only give us a tiny contribution, even the tiniest contributions make a huge difference. You've heard about some of the stories that we had earlier today. A bowl of soup through Meals on Wheels for kids, 80 cents. So even if you can only give $10, you know you're going to be able to help a bunch of kids. I also have Kanda, who's not able to make a contribution, saying, I'm not able to make a monetary contribution today. So I wrote down this silly little poem for you. Way up above, two lonely honkers making their break for a warmer climb. Two bravo young honkers on four wings in a prayer, happily flappity for summer warmth just in the nick of time. So look, just giving warm thoughts is also helpful today for those of you who are just listening in to the great causes, feeling like you wish you can help. It's okay, your thought's there. We do this every year. If you can't make it this year, you can do it next year. For those of you who can, just know that the need has never been greater. And we're going to talk about one of the wonderful charities that is going to be the beneficiary of your generous donations. You're going to want to go online for this one. We got Adam here who has set up Facebook Live, and you're going to meet little LJ, who is just going to warm your heart. He is such a charmer and a little flirt. He's been flirting with Leslie. He's been flirting with me.
Did you hear him talking?
Yeah. Oh, and boy, does he talk. I'm going to hand it off to Brenda so you can find a little bit about this charity.
Yeah, we've got little 10-month-old LJ Folden here. You want to say something?
I'm sure he does.
But he likes the mic. Okay, so we've got LJ Folden and his mother Lenny. There he is. And Lenny and his and LJ are joining us because little LJ, 10-month-old, he's had quite the ride already in his short life. And Lenny, why don't you give us a little background about your story?
Sure. LJ was diagnosed with hepatoblastoma, which is a rare form of childhood liver cancer, back in May of this year. He was only 12 weeks old at the time. He was told that he would need chemo and possibly a liver transplant if things didn't go well with the chemo, and he did in fact get a liver transplant this past August. But when he was first diagnosed, I had heard of the benefits of donor milk for babies, and I thought, why shouldn't he have it? He's quite ill, and he was on formula at the time. So I contacted the Northern Star Mother's Milk Bank, and they were kind enough to provide donor milk for LJ, and he's done really well. I believe he's getting the best nutrition through that, and he hasn't suffered any infections. He hasn't had any rejection from the transplant. He's grown and developed normally. He's just a happy little guy. You'd never guess anything was wrong other than a feeding tube coming out of his nose.
Yeah, that's it's amazing. He looks like 10-month-old. He looks like a normal little boy, right? Now we also have Janette Festival here. She is from the Northern Star Mother's Milk Bank. Now tell us exactly what you guys do and how people get in touch with you. Like, what is your mandate?
So our mandate is to provide the benefits of human milk to babies who are not able to receive it from their mothers. And there's lots of reasons why moms can't provide milk. And it's so important for little babies like LJ. He's immunocompromised, and we know that the donor milk does supply natural antibodies and immunities to these babies. And our mandate is to provide the benefits of donor milk to every baby who's ill and who requires it.
Now, how do people, there's probably people out there who would like to donate. I mean, how does one become a donor, and how does that process work?
So to become a donor is quite easy. We typically have our donor mums contact us, and they find out about donor milk from other mums who donate, and through their physicians, through the hospitals, through public health. So this year, so far, we've screened 750 donors, and these mums donate on average about 15 liters. And to become a donor, they go through a donor screening process. So they go through a blood test, they see their physician, they go through a verbal and a written screening.
And what is demand like? I mean, you've got a little guy like LJ here who's, you can see the benefit. What is it known that you can actually get this milk out there, or is it something that you're needing more awareness about?
We always need more awareness. Our donors typically stay with us for 3 to 4 months, and then they move on, because it is some work to pump the milk, and so we're always looking for new donors. The demand is high, so we supply all the hospitals with pasteurized donor human milk in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, as well as all of the East Coast. And a lot of these babies, if they're on donor milk in the hospital and they go home and they're still in need, we will follow them. And when the babies are in hospital, the hospital pays for the cost. But once they go home, they're on their own. So we do have quite a large charitable care fund. And QR77 has, we've had the benefit of donation from this organization. This year we've dispensed, it'll be about $150,000 worth of donor milk. And so yes, we're always in need of donor human milk. And if you're not a milk donor, you can always donate financially to help those families who desperately need the milk.
Yeah, and I guess it's one of those things, there's a lot of new mums out there who, for whatever reason, don't have the milk, right? And I guess but more and more women are wanting to breastfeed, but for whatever reason they can't. So I guess services like yours are probably in more demand than in past years when maybe breastfeeding wasn't so prevalent.
So there's basically the milk bank is there. Our priority is the hospitals, so the milk is triaged, and so we supply to the level 3 hospitals, to the sickest babies, and the level 2. And then at the end of the day, if there's milk left over, then we can dispense it out to the community. And what I mean by that is babies who are not in hospital. I think the milk bank has shown moms that breastfeeding is very important, and I think we've had a positive influence on that. But if a mom can't breastfeed and her baby's ill, or her baby has allergies to formula, we do what we can to try to help these moms. So far, we haven't turned anybody away.
So how do people who want more information about the Northern Star Mother's Milk Bank find out about you?
Sure, they can give us a call. We're here in Calgary, or else they can go onto our website, which is www.northernstarmilkbank.ca. There's lots of information there, and on becoming a donor or receiving milk, and that's a good first place to check.
Thank you so much, Janette. That's the Northern Star Mother's Milk Bank, and thank you, Lenny, and thank you, LJ.
And thank you,
so cute.
And thank you, Brenda. I saw him making eyes at the camera
I
there.
know.
He is going to have a future in television, I can tell you. What an absolute darling. And isn't it amazing when you listen in all of these charities you didn't know existed in Calgary? I don't know how Betty Jo finds them, but that's the reason why you would want to contribute to the Calgary Children's Foundation. Some of them are flying just below the radar, and they can do so much with so little. So every single contribution counts. Now, you guys have me worried here, because we've started the bid on the Caesar steak lunch with me, and the bid is at 0. Do you know how Gord and Sue are going to lord it over me on Monday when they have $4,000 that they raised for the Children's Foundation? And at the moment, I got nothing. Oh, come on, guys, please. You're hurting my heart here.
Let bring LJ with you.
Okay, and I'm going to say, yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should promise that LJ is going to be there with us. But look, Okay, I'm not going to say that I won't lord it over Sue and Gord if I end up raising more money than them, because I know I will. But please, just save me the embarrassment. You got to give us a call, 403-974-8255. It is a $1,500 value for the lunch. So if nothing else, you are going to get a fantastic meal. It's going to be at Caesar's Steakhouse. A beautiful steak lunch. If you like chicken or fish, they've got that too. The bread is spectacular. Nice little sprinkles of Parmesan cheese on top of it. It is one of my favorite steakhouses in Calgary. I've been going there for years and years. And you can too. But why don't you give us a call, 403-974-8255. Bid on this lunch, Caesar steak lunch with me. Now, you don't have much time to do it either. So the bid on this closes at noon today. And I'm just saying, if nothing else, call and bid just to give me some bragging rights. If we can beat Gordon Sue at $4,000 is what they were able to raise.